Can you imagine the politics of 2027 is gradually heating up in 2025? That is to tell you that we are about to watch a strong and dicey game called 2027 election, which some of the parties involved are already feeling the heat in 2025. But relax, let me just you.
I had very high rating of President Asuwaju, but to be honest, his performance in the last 2 years has betrayed whatever expectation I had of him.
Okay. Now, with what is going on around the country, it seems the sky is not settled for APC at all, and that is why different things are happening. First of all, they started with political jumpology, where people were jumping from their different parties to APC. And before you know what is happening, people started alleging that they want to turn Nigeria into one-party system. I was like, what is going on? But wait, that might just be the case. But before you know what is happening again, another people started saying that some of these people who are jumping from their different parties to APC are just doing that because they don't want EFCC wahala. And I was like, EFCC wahala. So if you have what EFCC is looking for, why then are you running? But wait, even if when you jump entered APC, will APC shield you from EFCC? But that will be a case for another day. Secondly, they burst out with this particular bill that is causing serious issues in our National Assembly presently. And they say that they want to pass this bill so that in 2027, everybody will be mandated to vote. But if you decide not to vote, they will charge you 100,000 naira or you will spend months in prison. But people saying say that they are trying to put fears into the mind of Nigeria, or they are trying to ignite Nigerians to do like, I don't even want to vote. In fact, if they want 100,000 naira, I will give them the 100,000 naira. Let me not go there and spend my time. After spending that time, the vote will not count because of what happened in 2023. Others say say that Nigeria will do like this, that everything is possible here, that they might even do the election and you will go and vote. After the election and everything, they might come up later and say that you did not vote. And no matter what you do, they will say that you did not vote, which means they will still collect the 100,000 naira. And if they don't like you enough, they might still send you to prison and all that. And they will use that avenue to make another money. I was like, what is good? But he never finished. Another shocking and disturbing one to APC is that the North are gradually pitching their tent towards P2B. Now, you can see that most of the Northerners are coming out to speak about P2B instead of Tinubu. Now, most of them are speaking vehemently, saying that they are disappointed with the 2 years Tinubu has stayed in office, that he has gone totally short of what they expected from him, which is absolutely looking like they are going to turn their back against Tinubu in 2027, which APC people are not finding funny at all. In fact, I will allow you to listen to that video and their body languages and their speeches, which they are dropping in different interviews. They are now applauding P2B, acknowledging him more than they did in even 2023 presidential election. In fact, let me allow you to listen to different videos where they are talking about P2B and how they are disappointed with the Tinubu regime. But as you are listening to that video, make sure you are clicking on that share button and also subscribe in case if you have never done so for more updates. And after that, I'll be back. Let's go there.
Nothing has come close so far to delivering on what we promised Nigerians, which is the disappointing part in terms of my assessment of President Asuwaju. Okay. I had very high rating of President Asuwaju, but to be honest, his performance in the last 2 years has betrayed whatever expectation I had of him.
Okay. You've seen those formidable politicians and technocrats, and other, top notches, from the north at the Continental Hotel in Abuja this evening will tell you that the consultative group is well-grounded, is oiled and well-funded. and therefore, like I said, is going to play a very, very prominent role going forward in spelling out.
In the pictures, they are not to quote. You
yes.
see Atiku, Adamu Maina Waziri, this is Hashim Imam,
very well.
Kumalia,
yes.
And look at Peter Obi,
yes.
Exchanging pleasantries.
Exactly.
But something unique, Najaku,
yes.
about this gathering is even in the schedule of programs, they said, okay, goodwill messages from Southeast, from Southwest, from South. But we saw Peter Obi, for instance, receiving a lot of applause from the gathering. Can you interpret that for us?
Yes, the interpretation is that the consultative group is very, very serious. It has a very good reach and is taken serious by all of those people you saw gathering there. And the fact that Peter Obi made it to that gathering is remarkable. And you don't forget, since the demise of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Peter Obi is the most formidable presidential candidate to have come out from the Southeast.
Since Azikiwe?
Since Azikiwe.
What about Alex Ikweme and...
Alex Ikweme, was he really a presidential candidate? He didn't get the ticket, did he? He didn't get the ticket. He lost the ticket to Obasanjo. And earlier on, I think he had also lost it to Obasanjo. Alex Ikweme was in the forefront in the formation of PDP. But unfortunately, during the short transition program of General Abdul Salami Abubakar, Alex Ikweme and the founders of PDP were off stage. And they removed, Olusegun Obasanjo from the prison and gave him the ticket because they zonalized the presidency to the Southwest. You remember that his other opponent on APP platform was also Olufale. But I tell you again, Peter Obi is a very, very formidable politician now. He has
what makes him formidable?
It's because, I was going there, it's because of the passionate followers that he has. It's because of the reach.
Can we say he's the Buhari of the Southeast of sorts?
Yes, he's the Buhari.
Because they say that, okay,
exactly.
Buhari, he had his fanatic 12 million votes.
Exactly.
That come rain, come shine,
exactly.
They are there for him.
Exactly. So the sentiment in Southeast, is suggesting a Peter Obi presidency. Don't forget, Peter Obi won Lagos in 2023. I think he won Benue.
With Tinubu on the ballot.
With Tinubu on the ballot.
He defeated him.
He defeated the Lagosian, the ex-governor of Lagos, called Bola Tinubu. And you know what he scored in Plateau and in Benue. So Peter Obi has basically, inherited that Zikist political followership. And I tell you that even in the North now, a lot of people, especially young people, especially educated people, are saying that it's time for a Southeastern president. And they see hope and promise in Peter Obi.
As a political analyst,
that's why his presence at this consultative group, even going to the extent of delivering
a keynote address.
Yes, a keynote address is something worldwide.
And that's what I want to ask. How significant is that? What message are these people of northern extraction are sending to Tinubu and the APC?
Very good question. I think the message to Tinubu is that minus him and his cabal, the entire country is against him. The northern politicians, the northern technocrats, and all those who gathered at Continental Hotel today understand something. Even though Peter Obi, like the politician he is, he said the North can change Nigeria.
And despite the endorsement, last week it was actually, pottery of endorsement by, is it the Northwest, is it the whole of the National Assembly? We saw endorsement upon endorsement.
I will make this point, then come to those endorsements.
Okay.
So I'm saying that the message at the consultative group is that the North and the Southeast are about to have another handshake
across the Niger.
Yes, and if you remember, decades ago, there was, there were alliances. In fact, fusion, if you like, between the Southeast and the North, whether it was during Tafawa Balewa or it was during Shehu Shagari. So the message is that the North and the Southeast are working together to unseat Tinubu. And because there is also another thought, just like Sule Lamido said, Tinubu is an emperor. So how do you remove an emperor? You use blood, toil, and tears to remove an emperor. And what it means is that in 2027, Tinubu might not accept being defeated. And who knows, the struggle to remove Tinubu might spill over into Onisha streets, Kaduna streets, Kano streets, Enugu streets, Owerri streets, and so on.
You speak in the same tongue as Babachir Lawal, who said the endorsement is almost nothing. Even the governors, they should just find their feet.
Yes, because you see, in the final analysis, Tinubu is coming face to face with the hungry people of Nigeria. There are 75% of Nigerians who are in the rural areas who are in abject poverty. And there are about 130 million Nigerians, as we talk, who have collapsed, who have fallen into poverty. These are the people that Tinubu is going to confront in 2027. Not people defecting, not people defecting to APC because maybe EFCC has scrambled some piece of paper before them, or it has telephoned them, or because somebody has promised them a ticket, or even outright winning of election, or because of their belly. Those are not the people who are going to deliver votes to Tinubu in 2027. It's the people that Tinubu has neglected. The over 100 million Nigerians who have descended into abject poverty, none of whom can claim gutter as his own, as his belonging. These are the people who are going to vote. And these are the people who are catching hell because of Tinubu's excruciating and cruel economic.
You no longer sound as a member of the APC, Najam.
I'm still a current member of the APC, but that doesn't
rebellious one.
That doesn't shut me up, because like Malam Nasir Rufai said, APC left him. APC has also left me long ago. You see, every political party has an ideologue. Even Bola Tinubu now has abandoned the party, so to speak. He's going after personalities because he thinks that personalities can make Omar, his
political ambition.
Yes.
And this seamlessly takes us to Kebbi State before we will open the line so that our viewers will ask you questions on some of these things we've discussed. Senator Alero, Abdullahi, and Maidoki, they have all moved to APC. The party you just said has abandoned you. So where is the departure?
You see, I can tell you authoritatively that the people of Kebbi are singularly and severally disappointed with the defection of Senator Muhammad Adam Aliru, Dr. Abdullahi.
I don't want to quote you, but we saw a crowd. We saw a crowd. Is it the 1,000 naira per person crowd during the defection, even though they formally announced it here in Abuja?
I am not sure the crowd right now is with these three senators. It's unprecedented. And it's a very, very big scandal. 3 Sabin senators voted just less than 2 years ago on People's Democratic Party platform because they had defected to that party from APC, and because APC had denied them level playing ground, to contest for whatever they wanted to contest, and that was why they went to PDP. And people regarded, what APC did to them as injustice. And that's why people gathered around them, people voted for them, people supported them, and now all of a sudden, inexplicably, they defect again from PDP to APC. I can tell you that people in Kebbi, they are boiling. People see it as a breach of trust. People see it as unjust, and people think that it might well spell doom for their political ambitions. Look at Senator Muhammad Adam Aliru. This could be his 5th term in the Senate. He's a formidable politician. So people are still asking, why did Aliru suddenly defect from PDP to APC? They said leadership. They said there's no leadership in PDP. And then they say because of also the leadership in APC. There's no leadership in APC. What leadership?
You think it's non-sequitur according to grammarians?
Of course,
when we don't have cogent reason.
There is no cogent reason. There is no reasonable reason. Because if you say there is no leadership in PDP, you are a leader. Why don't you provide the leadership? And it's an irony because if you say there is no leadership in PDP and then you run to APC, you may also cause its leadership crisis. And look at Dr. Yahya Abdullahi. This was a lecturer at ABU, Ahmadu Bello University.
Zaria.
He was in the cause, or if you like, the camp of people like Bala Usman. Then he came to Federal Civil Service. He was a powerful permanent secretary of the Niger Delta Ministry. He had good records there, almost unblemished. And the people of Kebbi North rallied around him because this was a guy also who ran for primaries in the gubernatorial primary against the incoming governor Nasir Idris.
Yes.
And they scored him 0. They scored him 0. Probably he didn't vote.
He didn't even vote for himself,
right? Okay, and that was how he now crossed to PDP, and his followers followed him there, and they voted for him. And now this is the same Dr. Yahya that's now coming to APC, when, like I said, 75% of Nigerians in the rural areas are falling into poverty, and then 130 million Nigerians also crashing into poverty. And you can be sure 70 or 80% of these poor people are from the farmers. Some of them from Margungu itself, some of them from Aleru, many of them from Kebbi, some of them from Zuru area, where Garba Maidoki, the Greenhorn.
I wanted to ask, yes, why do you think he too?
Well, he just wanted to follow the crowd. He thought that Senator Adamu Aliru and Dr. Abdullahi were political oracles, And so since the oracle have moved, let me move. And you saw how this guy, Akpabio, the Senate president, embarrassed him. You know, he said that since he told Garba Maidoki, Senator Garba Maidoki, that since he defected, he had kept quiet. Then he said APC, and then Senator Garba, right inside the Senate chamber, and then Senator Garba Maidoki said power. Whether it's power, he said oh power. Akpabio ridiculed him to say that Garba Maidoki was saying power, not power. That Garba Maidoki then couldn't speak. I mean, couldn't pronounce speak. Akpabio, what can Akpabio speak English? What does Akpabio know?
Now, beyond this, because we are actually trying to unravel, we even did a story. We spoke with some of the senators that defected, and we spoke with insiders and all that. Different reasons have been given, including maybe promise for automatic ticket. They say, is it contract? Is it that they will be off the hook of the anti-graft agencies? Because we've never seen this. Of course, we've been seeing defections in Nigeria, but this is unprecedented. 2 years into a tenure, people in their own right defecting to a ruling party. Are you privy to something that we don't really know as to why? Or is it just the crave to come back to the National Assembly?
I'm privy. Some of the reasons you gave were some of the reasons for which some of these senators...
Are they not rich? I don't know if we're talking about it.
Yes, they are rich. But I was told also in good authority by a top politician that one of the senators who defected told him that, look, I'm off. I'm going to APC because I've been threatened, because I've been told that EFCC is going to collect all of my belongings, and I just cannot allow that to happen, considering the sweat.
So when he joins APC, he says, "I forgive." Yes. It's the sanctuary now.
After all, this guy has said it. Adams Oshomole during the 2019, you know,
presidential.
Yes, that once you go to APC, all of your sins are forgiven. So part of the reasons truly was that there were reasons to believe that some of these senators, you know, their cases, their petitions with the FCC will be dusted up, and they will be, I mean, they will go for trial at the courts. But I also, let me say this, I read this report you said, which Trust Niswa, Daily Trust Niswa made, and one of the persons who was interviewed was Kawu Sumaila.
Yes.
And Kawu Sumaila, you know, used to be one of the young talks, if you like, of northern politics, particularly his senatorial district, you know, Kano South. You know, but the reason he gave for defecting, Kawu Sumaila, I'm sorry, he's so disappointed. He said that Tinubu promised him whether it's 96 billion naira.
Well, I actually interviewed him. What he said was during his campaign, he told his people that he's going to fight for the reactivation of Tiga Dam and other dams in Kano. And since he came to the National Assembly, that was what he kept doing. And then he got approval even before he defected. So there is actually, the apples apart, his defection and the approval of the 96 billion naira contract for the reactivation.
So which one came first?
The contract.
How do you know?
What he told me.
He told you why. He didn't tell you the truth. His defection is tied to that approval. And look, where we got this, where we photocopied this democracy from. You don't defect to ruling party simply because it has approved irrigation, whatever, you know, for. But you can you know,
you can lobby to get. Even in the US, we have this pork barrel, right? You use your position, you know, you influence projects to your constituency.
Yes, but as we are sitting down, I'm telling you that Senator Chuck Schumer of New York has not gone to the Republican Party because President Donald Trump is doing something in his district, or because he threatened him or whatever. Senator Chris Murphy, who I saw, by the way, in a video clip, you know, at the top of his act, haranguing, scolding Christine Noel, the former governor of South Dakota and the current Homeland Secretary, you know, of US. Chris Murphy is a top-notch Democratic senator. He was doing his job of oversight, serious oversight. The same with Crockett. Jasmine Crockett.
So you are trying actually to establish, a parallel between what is happening in other climes and what is happening
between the original democracy maybe and the photocopy democracy. All of these three guys, I said, Senator Chuck Schumer, Chris Murphy, and House of Congresswoman Jasmine, they didn't cross over to Republican Party because of pressure from this guy, Donald Trump. And you know, Donald Trump is one of the most vindictive American politicians or presidents ever, but they're still staying put in their party. You have to stay put in your party to rebuild it. That's what democracy is about.
We delve into the conversation. Here are some major stories in the polity. Former Vice President and 2023 People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar His counterpart in the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and other prominent politicians like Rotimi Amechi, Kashim Ibrahim Imam, Yusuf Datti Baba Ahmed, Adolphus Wabara, and Babashir Lawal were among the hundreds of people who attended a pro-Arewa meeting organized by the National Political Consultative Group in Abuja on Sunday. There are suggestions that a prominent general from the north has a hand in the activities of the group, but we are still trying to find out the level of his involvement. While the exact purpose and scope of the group remains unclear, it is believed to be a coalition platform being explored by northern political stakeholders in preparation for the 2027 presidential election. The meeting has drawn several prominent political figures, party leaders, and elder statesmen amid growing discussions of a possible grand coalition among opposition parties to take over power from the APC. Our correspondents report that the meeting at the Abuja Continental Hotel was briefly disrupted following a disagreement over representation from Jigawa State. Tensions rose when the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Babashir Lawal, announced a delegate to speak for the state. But in protest, several Jigawa delegates stormed the stage, blocking the individual from speaking and insisting they would not be represented by those named. Calm was, however, restored after some meetings with appeals as Mustafa Lamido, son of the former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido, along with another delegate, was chosen to speak on behalf of the state. We have some clips from there.
I've always said the North can change Nigeria. The greatest aspect of this country is the North. We can make more money, I say it every day, we can make more money from oil, from farm, agriculture, than we make from oil. And I'm starting to prove it in everything. If the entire country produces less than 6 million tons of rice, that is less than 10% of what Bangladesh produces. Bangladesh is a country that lives on 148,600 square kilometers of land. That is the size of 2 northern states. Niger has 76.3 and Borno has 70.8. Equal to Bangladesh.
That was Peter Obi in the midst of northern technocrats and politicians.
You get the point. Now, with what you've seen in this particular video and every other thing that is happening around the country, do you think that the North is actually fed up with Tinubu regime, or this is just another strategy that is about to play out? In fact, share your thought with me on the comment section. And of course, you know the vibe now. Click on that subscribe button, follow and share for more updates. Because like this, we move.